of us have something we put first in our lives, something that's more important to us than anything else. But there's only one thing that should have the first place in our lives. What is it? Well, let's get this show started to find out.
Hey JD, come here. I have something to show you.
What's that?
I call it the Incredible Idol Indicator 13,000.
What does that do?
You just put your arm in the hole, and I will show you.
That sounds like a really bad idea. I don't feel too good about this.
JD, just trust me. Just do it.
Hey, my arm's not coming out. What's going on here?
Don't worry, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Everyone has something they put first in their lives. It's what's most important to them, what they make the most time for, and what they give most of their attention to. My machine shows me what that thing is.
Why is it called the idol indicator?
God is the one that's supposed to be first in our lives. People used to make statues of fake gods out of things like wood or metal, and these things are called idols. People used to worship those instead of the real God.
But I don't do that.
Well, no. But today, people still have idols in their lives. When you have something in your life that's more important to you than God, that thing is an idol. It could be things like people or money or stuff that you have. It doesn't mean those things are bad. They just shouldn't be more important to you than God.
Jojo, my arm's falling asleep. Is your machine gonna do something or something like that?
Oh! Yeah, I have to push the button.
Well, are you going to or what?
Patience is a virtue, JD.
Jojo!
All right. Now, let's find out what you're putting first in your life. It is JD.
Well, I do tend to think about myself first sometimes. And there are times I do what I want to do rather than spend time with God or help others like I know I should. I guess that's something I need to change.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Well, actually, it's time for our next part of the show. So, back to Annie!
Hey, that's not fair.
What is the person or thing that is most important to you? God says He's the one that should be first in our lives. But why does it matter if you put God first? Is it really that bad if something else is more important? Well, I have a story to tell you, so let's go find out. This is Timmy. God created Timmy and loved him and had blessed him with lots of things. But Timmy had a pair of glasses he liked to wear. They were his mind glasses. When he looked at things through his glasses, he only thought about how he could use them to help himself. Even after he became God's child, he still liked to wear these glasses. And when he did, rather than put God first in his life, he was putting himself first. Every day, God gave him 24 hours. But when Timmy had on his mind glasses, rather than realize that God had given him that time, he thought about how he could spend it doing what he wanted to do. Timmy liked to spend lots of time playing video games and watching TV. Timmy was spending all of his time on himself. He put himself first with his time. God had also made Timmy with the ability to learn. Timmy had used that to do well in school and to learn as much as he could. Now that he was grown up, that had helped him get a job where he made lots of money. But Timmy didn't think about God with his money either. He looked through his mind glasses and saw all that money as his. So he spent it on all kinds of things like a big house and fancy cars and a huge TV with all the latest features, even a cup holder. But Timmy noticed that his friend Jimmy wasn't like that. He didn't buy lots of expensive things, and whenever there was someone that needed help, Jimmy was there. He didn't use his time, money, and talents just for himself. Timmy asked him why he did that. Jimmy showed Timmy his glasses. They were different from Timmy's mind glasses. Timmy tried the new glasses. Wow. Now, instead of seeing things as his, he saw they were actually from God. Timmy realized his time wasn't his to just do whatever he wanted. It was a gift that God had given him, and he didn't know how much time he would have in this life. So he spent time with God, reading the Bible, and talking to God. He also decided to spend time teaching at a Bible club where he got to tell kids about God. With his new glasses, he didn't see his money as his anymore either. It was money that God allowed him to have and use. Rather than use his money to buy fancy things for himself, he looked for people in need that he could give it to, instead of putting himself first and doing what he wanted to do. Now Timmy put God first and obeyed what God wanted him to do. You don't have glasses like Timmy did, but you can still choose how you look at things in your life. Do you view everything as yours or God's? God is the creator and ruler of the universe. He has given us everything we have, even our lives. When he tells us to put him first in our lives, it's because he's the only one that actually deserves it. Psalm 29:2a says, "Give unto the Lord the glory due to his name." God is so great and has given us so much. He deserves more than we could possibly ever give him. That's why we should put God first in our lives. There's another reason too. Let's go to Jojo's toy box to find out what it is.
God is the creator, and he made things with different purposes to do different things. It's time to take a look at some of the creatures God created and what he designed them to do. First, I have a fish. What do fish do? Well, they swim. That's what God created them to do. Let's see what else I have. Look, it's a monkey. Monkeys are really good at climbing trees. I like climbing trees too, but for some sad reason, Annie won't do it with me. Anyways, God made monkeys good at climbing trees. Monkeys are different from fish. Imagine if a fish tried to climb a tree. That would be silly, because that's not what it was made for. Next, I have a bird. Birds were created to fly. Well, most birds. Some birds, like this penguin, can't fly. But that's because penguins were designed to swim. And God also made them to be able to survive in the cold, because they live in really cold places. But just think, would the world be a better place if penguins roamed free? Look, I have a horse. Horses were created to be able to run. I can run pretty fast. I could probably beat JD in a race, but I wouldn't be able to beat a horse. Next, I have a little bee. Isn't it so cute? What did God create bees to do? Well, bees make honey. It's so yummy. I love honey. Now, I have one more thing in my toy box. Let's see what it is. Hey, look! It's me! What was I created to do? Well, Psalm 148:11-13 says, "Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and all judges of the earth, both young men and maidens, old men and children, let them praise the name of the Lord, for his name alone is exalted. His glory is above the earth and heaven." I was made to praise and glorify God. You and I and everyone were created to praise God and give him glory. Actually, everything God created was made to worship him. But people are different from all the other things God made. God made you in his image, unlike the other animals. Also, you have a choice of whether you will put yourself first or God first in your life and glorify him. But when we put ourselves or anything else besides God first in our lives, it will leave us feeling empty because we're not doing what we were made to do. Money or fame or power might make you happy for a little while, but those things do not last. If you go after those things, you'll keep having to try to get more and more, but they won't ever fully satisfy. Only God can do that.
When we put anything else besides God first in our lives, we'll never be completely satisfied.
Yeah, it's like this.
What are you talking about?
I could pour all kinds of liquid into this, like water or juice or milk, but none of them would fill it up. That's what it's like in our lives when we put something other than God first to try and fill our lives. It doesn't work.
That's right. How can you start putting God first in your life? Well, JD has something to show us, so let's go to our challenge.
It's challenge time! Well, actually it's not yet challenge time. I have something to show you first. So I have this jar over here. This jar represents all the time you have in one day. Now here's some sand. There. Now it's all full. This is like all the things you do every day. Like getting dressed, making your bed, brushing your teeth, going to school, doing your homework, eating, cleaning your room. You get the idea. Wait, what if we had these rocks we wanted to fit in there? Oh no, it's too full. They don't fit. Let's try this again. Okay, so this time, let's put these rocks in first. Now it's time for the sand. Look at that. When I put the rocks in first, it all fits. So we talked about the sand. But what do the rocks represent? Well, let's take a closer look at them and find out. Oh, the rocks are down there. Well, I guess I'll clean that up later. Look, the rocks have things written on them. They say prayer, reading God's word, and asking for advice. These three things all involve spending time with God. We've talked a lot about putting God first in our lives. And one way to do that is to spend time with Him first before doing anything else during the day. Now it's challenge time! When you get up in the morning, before you start doing other things, spend however many minutes as you are old praying and talking to God. Remember, we learned about prayer in the last Puppet Show episode. There's a link for that video in the description below. Then, however old you are, spend that many minutes reading God's Word, the Bible. And finally, if you have any questions, you can spend time asking God about it. So, for example, if you're 7 years old, you would spend 7 minutes praying, 7 minutes reading the Bible, and 7 minutes asking God for advice and asking Him your questions. If you choose to take the challenge, you can let us know on Facebook at In the Gap Kids. So will you choose to put God first and take the challenge?
Thank you for joining us today on The Puppet Show as we learned about putting God first. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Why do I have to do it?
You made JD do it.
Yeah, but... Oh, all right. My toys? But they're really, really special. And of course they're important.
Jojo.
Fine, yeah. There's a girl I know who doesn't have very much. And I felt like God might want me to give her some of my toys. But then I didn't want to get rid of any of them. I guess they're a little too important to me. I'm gonna go do that now. Thanks, Annie. Bye.